Hello everyone, welcome back. Again, another Firestorm Gazala game. This is round 3, the final round. Me and Jimmy are playing this game. This is game 1, and then next week Tom and Lucas are playing game 2. Both Axis players won the choice of what game they were going to do, and they didn't want to do 3 and 4 since the Axis are out of supply, so can't blame them, but I would have rather played in that game. So this mission here, Jimmy is the attacker, and the mission is no retreat, which seems to be the standard mission for us this campaign so far. So I'll show you Jimmy's forces to start with. So he's gone for a German armoured car company, consisting of a light scout for the HQ, so that's just one. Then he has a platoon of 3 light scouts, and one of them has an anti-tank gun. And then he has a platoon of 4, and again with one anti-tank gun. And then he has 2 platoons of heavy scouts and 3 captured 6-pounders. And then we have a debutante formation, a Bersaglieri rifle company. So well done, they have been used as formation support in Firestorm units, but this is their first time down as a formation together. So let's get them all into shot. So we have the HQ of 2 teams, and then we have 2 full platoons, so that's 9 bases, and we also have 3 heavy machine guns and 3 mortars, and that is them for the formation. So now we're on to the formation support, so let's move things around. We have 3 up-armoured Panzer IIIs, we have 4 10.5cm howitzers, accompanied by a Panzer II OP, and we have 3 of the dreaded Flak 88s at the back, if we can see them. Not used 3 before, so I've had to use an Italian version just to bolster up the numbers, and that is it. Command card wise, we have the Armoured Car Company, the Captured 6-pounder, and the Pure Luck. And there's also a card for the Italians in play, the Paolo Cassia Dominioni, so I most likely have pronounced that wrong, correct me if I have. So this is for the Italian formation, and basically if you are the attacker in a mission other than a meeting engagement, this formation has the night attack rule, so this is very handy. There's a few other things if you're the defender, or there's assault engineers, which is not, so Jimmy will be launching a night attack, so that is quite good for him. And we also have the Firestorm units to introduce. So this, I didn't want to play game 1 because they are 2 units of Panzer IIIs. We have, all of them are units of 4, so there's 3 short 5s and 1 long 5. And each of these, one of them is from the 5th Regiment of the 21st Panzer, and we have another one from the 8th Regiment of the 15th Panzer. So in total that is 44 extra points onto Jimmy's list, and because it's no retreat and he's the attacker, all of these are going to be starting the game. With me, I have deep immediate reserves, so I have quite a bit to come on and hold the line, but at least night might give me a bit of an advantage too. So that is Jimmy's attacking Axis force. So let's look at my thin line of the defenders. This is my defending list. I've gone for an Indian Rifle Company again. I've had some quite good success with these guys over this campaign, and I quite enjoy using them, especially in a defensive way so far. So I have my HQ of 2 teams, and then I have 2 full platoons, so that is 7 rifle MG teams, a boys anti-tank rifle, and a mortar. With them is also 4 3-inch mortars, 4 Vickers heavy machine guns, and 4 6-pounders. I do have a second formation. It's a bit squishy, but I was restricted by points thanks to my formation, my Firestorm units. I've gone for 3 Grants in the HQ, with 3 more Grants in the first troop, and then I also have 3 Henny Stewarts as well. I also have 4 captured 25-pounders. I was toying with the idea of having Shermans, but I had a quick research and Shermans weren't used until the second Battle of El Alamein, so I'm using the Grants for now. For command cards, I am using the Indian Rifle Company, and I'm also giving them sticky bombs. I'm also equipping the Honeys with scout tanks, so that makes them harder to hit, slower, and they lose tally-ho, and they gain scout. So I just want to keep my formation a little bit secure. I've also used a point for diversionary tactics to get rid of a pesky ranged-in marker, which no doubtly will be on my troops at the start of the game. Firestorm units. Again, we have the 4th Armoured Brigade of the 7th Panzer Division, 7th Armoured Division, the Desert Rats, and I also have 2 Hurricanes as well. So that is my list. I have a lot to put in reserve, I have a lot to hold the line with, and let's have a look at deployment. Before I go into that, Ashton Panzer, the people who are Hengist Comics, on their Facebook page shared a nice post about the British Indian Army in World War II. I put a link in this description. It's just a little read and got some nice photos of how much they contributed to the Allies in World War II. Not often spoken about outside of people who know a lot about World War II, but obviously contributed a lot. And so again, Hengist Comics is sharing a lot of interesting stuff about the North Africa campaigns. They're going to be running an interesting campaign going right to the beginning of all the North African conflict. And hopefully soon I'll be able to have a little bit of a remote game with him as well, which I'm looking forward to. So in the description, that will be there. So click on that, have a look at his Facebook page. Some good topics for discussion on there as well. So here's today's table. It's a bit barren, but this is the road into Tobruk, and the Axis forces need to push through here to get launch an assault upon it. So the terrain, as you can see, lots of patches of soft sand everywhere. Can't dig in on these areas, and it's just terrain dash movement for tanks. Have to get these. This is just a plastic gold tablecloth that I cut up into sections. Didn't think it would look this good on the camera. It looks quite decent. It was between this and a yellowish tea towel, I think, or was it a face cloth? But I think these look okay. So I've got a nice straight road going straight through this area, avoiding all the obstacles. There's some scrub here, some rocky terrain, more soft sand, and a few rises in the form of some dunes, and there's one over there. So I know which side I want to defend, and we'll set up all the objectives, deployment, and we'll go ahead. Again, this is using their random deployment setup on the axis of attack. I find it quite good. The setup stops me weighing the terrain in anyone's favour. You can do it subconsciously sometimes, I find, but yeah, so it might look a bit odd, but this is what the dice told me to put down, and here we go. This is how I've deployed. I've put the bulk of my stuff clustered around the closest objective to Jimmy. Basically, 2nd, 1st platoon are here with the Vickers heavy machine guns, the HQ and the 25 pounders, and everything is within range of his reroll. And I've put this card down here to remind me to move this ranged in marker before the game starts, which I'll show Jimmy. Got to move it 6 inches in any direction. The mortars are over here, and the Honeys are hidden behind this hill, and all the Grants are in reserve along with the Hurricanes, and the 25 pounders are in ambush. And this is the wave of Axis ready. All the scout cars are down by here. Couldn't spearhead because they're already within 16 inches of my deployment. Captured 6 pounders, and the Italian MGs are here with the 10.5s right behind. We have 1 unit of Firestorm panzers with the up-armoured panzers in the middle with the Italian mortars. The flak 88s are right behind, and then all the Italian infantry are with them, and more Firestorm units, and the OP over here. So before I start, I will move the marker. Good luck to you, James, and off we go. It's the 6-pounders I have in ambush, the 25-pounders are on the table. This is Italian movement for turn 1, or axis movement. Only the Italian units can move out of the deployment zone at night, so these have all pushed up at 8 inches, which is the same as terrain and tactical, so they are up 8 inches. So we're going to go into the shooting step now, and we're going to see how far these units can see, because at night you have to roll to see how far you can see. So the best they can do is 24 inches, so let's see how far they can go. Axis shooting did kill something. The Italian mortars managed to kill one of my Vickers heavy machine guns, and this pinned second platoon as well. Apart from that, only the Panzer III's up armoured could actually see anything at night, and they didn't hit anything because it's quite difficult to hit stuff at night. So first of all, going into my startup step, I have to rally my Vickers heavy machine guns. 4 and a 5 get a reroll for the formation commander, and second platoon get a 5 and a 6, so nice for them, so they're all unpinned. And then I get 1 dice for reserves, and I get looks like a 1. Yep, I get a 1, so no reserves for me this turn, and here I go into movement. End of my movement, I just pushed the honeys back a little bit from the ridge. I can see the Italians probably a potential assault coming on here, so I'll just push them back, and at least I get some cover fire anyway. Was thinking of bringing the infantry over towards the left, but I feel the honeys could do a decent enough job by themselves. And off I go now into shooting, and I did think the Italians would come through this stretch here, so I'm going to have to rearrange everything, which is just great. Turn 1 shooting, all I managed to range in was the Vickers heavy machine guns, and they took 1 kill on the Italians, so second platoon is pinned, but I failed to range in with the mortars and 25-pounders on these targets. So that's a bit unfortunate, but there we go. So going into turn 2 for Jimmy, he has to rally second platoon, so they're confident on a 4+, but he does get a reroll. Got a 6, so they are unpinned, and we go into Axis turn 2. So here we have the Italians moving. They're staying behind the ridge of the hill, first platoon is anyway, to avoid the honeys, and second platoon are sweeping around to the left of the hill with the HQ in the middle for rerolls. And that is it for Axis movement. Again, we're into shooting. German shooting, I've lost 2 more Vickers heavy machine guns thanks to the combination. Oh no, it's just the mortars that killed them, and the 10.5s have also ranged in. So second platoon is pinned again, and the Vickers are pinned again. And that was pretty much it for the shooting. A lot of MG fire, tank rounds, and flak 88 rounds went into the remaining Vickers heavy machine gun, but he is still there. But whether he will hold on his nerve and not run away, we shall find out. So this is for the motivation for second platoon. They rally for the Vickers heavy machine gun. Rally. I have nothing bailed out, so this is the last stand for the Vickers, and he stays around. So next roll is to see whether I get any reserves. And I get 1 unit of reserves, so I'll be bringing in my Firestorm Grants. And here we go into movement. So here are the Grants. They've done their terrain dash, and they ended up here, and I've just moved around the honeys again. Hopefully I can see further enough to start mowing down some of this Italian infantry, and hopefully my artillery will do a little bit better. I'm not sure what to do with the Vickers heavy machine guns, considering I'm going to be re-rolling my hits now. But yes, I'm just going to have to put up with that for now, and hopefully he won't run off anytime soon. So let's get into British shooting and see if I can mow down some more Italians. Alright then, so my artillery, I didn't range in again with the Vickers because they could still clip 2, but missed because I'm re-rolling my hits now. And the 25-pounders and mortars ranged in on their last attempt, but I did manage to pin 2nd and 1st platoon, but the HQ is okay and no kills. So going into the startup step, James, you have to rally 2nd platoon, so that's 2 dice, and you need 4s. So they rally, and I check in the other guys. Oh, sorry, their rallies are 3. And then the 1st platoon is a 3 as well. Nope, 1st platoon does not rally. That's unfortunate for them. And here we go now into Axis turn 3. Okay, so with 1st platoon pinned, they have dug in. The HQ have moved away and have gone over here outside the templates. And 2nd platoon has dug in, but only the front 3 can, because the other ones are some of their base, or if not all of their base, is in the soft sand, so they cannot dig in here. I might just have a quick look at the rules, because these 3 are like almost half and half, if less, to see if they can dig in as well. And that concludes Axis movement, and I feel the artillery are loading up again, and I feel 2nd platoon may get another pounding. So let's see what happens. German shooting, the mortars rearranged in here. Again, repeat bombardment, no kills this time, but they're pinned. The 10.5s ranged in on their final attempt on the rocky ground and have finished off my final Vickers heavy machine gun. How dare they? 2nd platoon of the Italians have just gone to ground rather than be exposing themselves. So that's quite a decent option. Again, most of this line opened up on the 25 pounders, but got nothing. So first of all, as it's my turn 3, 1 die to see whether dawn breaks. It does not break. So I will go into my rallying. So to rally 2nd platoon, again they rally, and then 3 dice for reserves. And I get 2 more reserves, get a 6, 6 and a 2. So off I go again into my movement step. So here are all the grants on finally. Turn 3, so I'd hardly call that finally. Just keeping them hidden behind this ridge here. Don't want dawn to break with them all exposed to the flak 88s, but these ones could only push up that far. Sorry, that is way too far forward for them. So they are like that. Honeys again have not moved, so I'm quite content with them being a little bit of a bulwark against the Italian wave that's coming forward towards me. So I'm just keeping my head down at the moment. So let's go for shooting. Nice lots of templates over here on this infantry team. So hopefully I can pick off a few of them anyway. And for once I'm actually ranged in, so that's nice. Okay, in the shooting, the mortars and the 25 pounders have pinned 2nd platoon and picked away 2 of the guys that were unfortunate enough to be in soft sand. Rolled to see how far the honeys could see, but they could only see the guys in foxholes, so I'm going to just hold fire for now. So going into turn 4 for the Germans, Jimmy has 2 dice to roll to see whether dawn breaks. Three and a 6, so dawn has appeared. So basically night fighting rules are now ceased. The sun now shines over the desert. So for the British, they are seeing a armoured column of German tanks in front of them, and the Italians are now quite nicely exposed to a bit of everything as well. And finally my aircraft can come in as well, so that's a bonus as well. So German turn 4. But before we go into movement, as Jimmy quite rightly said, we better rally some stuff first. So 2nd platoon, not in range for a reroll now, so 1 dice rallying on a 3. Yep. They rally, and 1st platoon 2 dice for them, rallying on a 3 as well. Yep. So all those rally, and now we go into movement. The Italians are going for it, they're swarming over the hill. Obviously you got the elite Italians of 1st Platoon backed up with their HQ coming over as well. And these honeys have just gone, oh no, look at them, it's dawn and like all these Italians have appeared. The Firestorm panzers on the right are moving around the hill, the OP is tucking in out of sight, and then everything is sweeping forward, staying outside of these pesky minefields for now, and that concludes German movement. Again, I feel a few templates coming down my way, hopefully not on too many of my assets, and here we go into German shooting again. A lot more MGs coming this way, I feel, on my poor infantry, and luckily they're still gone to ground and dug in. Okay then, so far with the shooting, the 10.5 has wiped out 2 rifle teams, and 1st Platoon are pinned. They would be pinned anyway with the amount of MG fire that I've got into them, and the same story for 2nd Platoon, but got pinned down by the mortars, and that is it. The Flak 88s did fire on the 25 pounders, scoring a hit, but I failed my save, but luckily a 1 was rolled for the firepower. And that is it at the end of the shooting phase for turn 4. And then Jimmy is going to find out what it is like to assault the honeys with Italian infantry. So we will see how this ends up. 2nd Platoon was a little bit too far out to assault. 1st Platoon combined with the HQ valiantly charged down the hill, but were forced back with defensive fire, but only for the result of 1 casualty. So not too bad for the Italians, but those honeys are still there. So going into my turn, I have a few rallies to do. So I have 2nd Platoon to rally, and they rally, with thanks to the Formation Commander reroll. 1st Platoon does not rally, and let's have a look now what I need to do first. I am going to reveal my ambush this turn, and I'm also going to roll for my aircraft. I will be rolling more than 3 dice, so I will automatically get them in anyway, so a 4+ to bring them in, and no aircraft for me this turn, so thanks for those Hurricanes, are doing a lot so far, but the 6-pounders are going to show up now. So here we go into turn 4 for the British. Movement so far, my 6-pounders have popped up by here, right behind the infantry. The Grants have moved over the hill. Luckily my formation commander passed a blitz move, so he pushed up as well because he was further behind, and the honeys have gone a bit further back for these pesky Italians. They might run their luck at some point. So we're going into British shooting, and I can see the enemy. I feel like I might be able to hit a few more of them, so off we go again. I started my turn by putting a smoke bombardment with the mortars, so I started by here, crabbing across, so to protect the Grants as they pushed on towards the Panzer IIIs. My 6-pounders spread their shots onto the HQ and some of the heavy scouts, but he managed to pass both of the hits onto the light scouts, which resulted in one of them getting bailed and one of them dying, and it was a similar situation with the 8 rads, 1 dead, 1 bailed. 25-pounders mixed their shots up as well as the Grants, and this is what greeted them. I got 1 bail and 1 dead Panzer III. My honeys managed to get 6 hits on 2nd Platoon with their MGs, which resulted in 1 kill and of course them being pinned. So going into turn 5 for the Germans, let's get the unit cards so we can see them a bit better. Do you want to start with your scouts first, James? Yeah. So the 8 rads remount on a 4+, but you get a reroll from the HQ. Yep. So he's back in, and then the light scout car is also getting back on a 4+, and he's getting a reroll as well. Nope. Okay. So we'll come back to him. Your long 5cm Panzer III is getting back in on a 3+. Yep. Your Italian 1st Platoon is rallying on a 3+, and they get a reroll. Yep. The HQ also gets a 3+ rally and a reroll. Yeah, and then 2nd Platoon, and they're in reroll range as well. And they rally. So the last thing to do is a last stand on your light scout unit, and they are last standing on a 5+, but they get a reroll for the formation commander. No. Okay, so they're running away, and here we go now into German movement turn 5. For movement, so far, Jimmy has done a successful blitz move with this panzer unit. So 2 of them are clearing the smoke, but the rest are behind, but he's happy with that. The Italians tried to dig in, but only the HQ managed to dig in, so they are remaining there. And everything else is remaining still. I suppose Jimmy has a plan, he has something up his sleeve, no doubt. So here we go now into German shooting, and again, I fear the artillery again is going to take its toll on my infantry, which are just clinging to these rocks at the moment. Okay, in the shooting, James popped down his smoke of his own with his 10.5s to cover his infantry. Not much happened in the term of kills. Seems my poor shooting has been mirrored by the Panzer's poor shooting so far, with all of these Panzers getting 1 bale on a Grant HQ. All my infantry are pinned again. I don't think I lost any this turn, and so that's okay. So let's start off with trying to get this gentleman back in. So he gets back in on a 3+, and he has 2 dice for the HQ. And he double gets back in, so that's good for him. So let's try and rally 2nd platoon. They rally, and let's check to see if 1st platoon will rally this time. They don't. There's always that one platoon that doesn't rally. So before I roll for my aircraft, I need to remember to get rid of the smoke. So let's see if the aircraft turn up. And no, they don't. I think they're still trying to finish their tea back at base. I don't know whether they will actually make an appearance this game. So let's get into the movement. Movement, I've just pushed up all the Grants again, trying to get as many shots as possible, and the honeys are by here. I think I'll move these Grants by here a little bit further forward, because I have some plans for the 25-pounders, and the honeys are moved around to protect my 8cm mortars as much as possible. So starting my shooting, the 25-pounders popped smoke in front of the Flak 88s again. So for all my efforts, I managed to kill another Panzer III, and the HQ scout though, I managed to get him, but he did swap to the 8-rad unit, and I bailed another 8-rad as well, and that was my shooting. I tried to re-ranging with my mortars onto this guy, but I missed. So going into German turn 6, they need to get a move on. So first of all, you have to remount your 8-rad, 2 dice on a 4. Yep, and then he is also going to have to last stand as well on a 5+, but you get a reroll. He's fine. So that is it for German motivation. Their smoke does disappear over here, and here we go, German turn 4. Sorry, it's German turn 6, as Jimmy pointed out. Okay, so here we go into German movement. Again, they need to get within 8 inches this turn of the objective, otherwise it is game over. So James has had to go for it. The scout cars have gone through the minefield. Just 3 casualties. So we've got the 2 light scouts over here and 1 8-rad. Formation commander has still survived, so they will be able to get into an assault this turn. But they are running down the risk of the 6-pounders by here. Everything else, do you want to move your Italian infantry before you go on? The Italians are a bit of a sideshow potentially at the moment, so they are going to remain still. It's basically James feels he will not be able to get within 8 inches. He still could, but then what his main plan is to lower my victory condition. So yes, so let's see if he can do that into German shooting. Shooting wise, the mortars put a smoke barrage here in front of the 6-pounders, so I can't overwatch while these come in. the Panzer III's tried concentrating their fire to try and get as many kills as possible. They killed 2 of my HQ tanks and bailed the other, and that is what they managed to achieve. Some very poor shooting for the Germans, but uncharacteristic lately. So now finally we're getting into this assault to see whether it can James can cling on to victory. So let's see how that goes. So unbelievably, the 1-8 got in because one got bailed out by something, I think it was a boys out tank rifle, killed a rifle team, and then my infantry failed a rally even with a reroll, so they pulled back. So this guy was able to consolidate 4 inches onto the objective. The other scouts assaulted up here. Lost one, got bailed as they went in. No kills. My infantry didn't kill anything, but then he failed his counterattack. So he fell back to here, which again is contesting the objective, and my infantry consolidated 4 inches. So that was very interesting. So turn 6, I have a rally to do with this infantry team. Does still have a re-roll though. Yep. So luckily they rally. My HQ, let's see if he will get back in. He does, 6, loving it. My 1st platoon is also pinned. They get the re-roll with a rally. They do. And my mortars are pinned down. They unpin. I'm wasting all my 6s here. I would like to have some aircraft come in. So last dice for aircraft. And they do come in on a 5. So I think this is just going to be just trying to kill as many panzers as I like now. So going into British turn 6. In the movement step, I have pushed up my infantry from 2nd platoon to deal with the scout cars by here. HQ's moved up with them because they could do with the encouragement, and 1st platoon are going to remain still to open up onto them, but mainly so the Grants can fire over them if need be. Only one I tried to get through the terrain, which I did, and the HQ I also tried to do, but he got stuck here. My Hurricanes, I'm going to go for the Firestorm unit, just try and thin them out, and then the other Grants can decide where they want to shoot. So, going into British shooting, and I'm going to ask Jimmy if he wants to fire AA with the Flak 88s. So basically what has ended up, I've killed one of the up-armoured Panzer IIIs, I'll put some smoke on him, bailed 2 of the others, and one of the Firestorm units I've also bailed. Killed one of the Flak 88s with my 25 pounders, and that's pretty much it. My Grants, so they moved in position, all fluffed it and hit their 8 but my boys anti-tank took out the other light scouts, so at least I can't get stopped as I go into this assault, which is lucky I suppose. So assault, and if I can get rid of this guy, it is game, luckily, but these guys have already failed a double roll on an assault, so could go either way. So the assault is over. I used my sticky bombs. That 8 got killed, and the other guy got killed because he was bailed out. So there's nothing within 8 inches, so that is game to me. I only lost 1 whole unit, which was the Vickers, so that is a 8-1 victory, stunning victory. So talking about MVPs, I wasn't sure what to do because in terms of actually killing stuff, my guys didn't do that well, but I feel that MVP, just for the fact I felt it kind of thwarted James, and I don't know if he agrees with this, it is my 3 Honey Stuarts.
Yeah, I would say you're amazing.
Yeah, mainly the fact was they slowed down the Italian infantry on their push round, and without them there they would have been able to run into the 8cm mortars. So they wouldn't have been able to fire their smoke barrage. And for you, James, who is your MVP?
The only unit to do anything, the 81mm mortars.
Yeah, they were the ones who pretty much got rid of the Vickers. The 10.5s did pretty well, but it was the 8cm mortars that laid down the smoke barrage to enable the 8 to actually have a chance. I guess in doing something different, James, you probably wouldn't night attack.
Not with this again, no. It didn't falter with my advance with the Italians. It was kind of like try to more maneuver around the armies. I might have done better. And just taking the risk of getting hits from them, or later on pushing much quicker and harder with the scouts and panzers. It might have been better. But
Yeah.
the night attack allowed you to get your reinforcements in before I could even start advancing up to be able to deal with them early.
Yeah, I felt more confident with my chances when you said you were going to night attack, just for the fact I knew the bulk of your army would be sitting waiting before dawn came, and I was hoping dawn would actually be a bit further back. But yeah, it did enable to get my tanks on and halt your tanks while they pushed up. I did think your Italians would come down more on the left, on your left, to get rid of the minefields, and then the tanks behind. So it was strange to see the Italians on the other side, but that is why I put the honeys there, just in case. But it was a good game, and this will be our last contribution to the Gazala campaign. But there's one more game on my channel with Tom and Lucas. So I'll wrap this up now, get this uploaded, send in my score, and hope you all enjoy next week's game. So everyone ciao for now, and thanks James for another game. Okay, right, everyone ciao for now.